Hi there. Welcome to my studio. I want to give you a quick tour to kind of show you what I've done. It's been adapted a little bit over the almost 6 years that I've been here. So come on in, let me show you. Oh, by the way, this is Rex, one of my studio assistants. I have 2 dachshunds and a cat that usually hang out with me in the studio. As you can see, my space is not huge. It's about 12 by 14 feet. And I usually have to divide this area between day work, which takes place over on the right-hand side, and my studio fun work, which is over on the left-hand side. And since I only have a limited amount of space, and I do, like most quilters, like to play in lots of different playgrounds, I have to figure out ways that I can put all of my things out and be able to get to them. I'm not somebody that loves to super decorate my studio because for me it's work. I spend 8 to 10 hours of work in front of the computer, and I also like having things fairly clean. So you'll notice that I have a little bit of artwork on the walls, but primarily it's fairly clean, it's fairly white, and things are behind a drawer or they're behind a cabinet. This is my pressing and cutting station, as you can see. It's not very large, and I have a small design wall over the top, but it serves me really well because I have art supplies in here, in this area, and then I've got crochet and wool and other kinds of things that I need and I can get to really quickly. I also notice, because I'm doing a lot more crochet now, I'm going to need a lot more containers, so I found this one small area where I was able to get a really narrow bookcase in. And like I said, I like things labeled, mostly because I can't see what's inside, so this makes it really easy. I've got all the various different kinds of yarns and things. Up here, these are just simple craft room boxes that I found at the craft store that we're all familiar with, and it's got my hand embroidery work. So I do some Sue Spargo work. This one has cotton, these have wool in them, and they're real easy to get to, and they're out of the way, and I don't get dust on them. So as we move over here, this is one of the big changes I made in my room about a year ago, was redoing this closet, because I had for over 30 years, I was dragging bookcases around, and this is now much more to my liking. Number one, I got a big light. I wanted to be able to see everything in my closet at one time. I had a 1962 light bulb hanging down for many, many years, and this allows me to see everything I want. I wanted drawers that I could pull out. I could actually lift these out, and I have all my fabrics designated. Primarily on this side, I have garment making fabric because I make garments, and then on the other sides, I have quilting fabric. And for me, I don't need to say what it is. I just have these little tags that I made with colors. That is enough of a designation for me to know what's in there. On the right-hand side is, batting, more batting, works in progress, irons and lamps and pressing tools. Up above are other projects that I've started and haven't, still, eventually I will get to them. Down below are office things, my books, mailing, that kind of thing. I also like to use the doors. The doors are another great vertical space where you can get lots and lots of storage on. These are just command hooks, and that's, again, a project I've got cut out. These are pant and skirt hangers that I use for my slider mats and other things that I can roll up. Then this taller container comes from the pantry department for, again, tall, narrow things that I need to roll up. On this other side, again, we've got different kinds of things, but they're all sort of correlated by type. I do go to shows and take photos. We used to do lots of video interviews, so I've got all my video cables, recording things, hard drives. Also have a little bit of needle felting and fabric dyeing. And then down below are my bags that I carry, the tripods, any of that sort of thing. And then down on the floor, I've got my AccuQuilt cutter. The idea with this closet was I didn't want a whole lot of stuff on the floor. I wanted to utilize the doors again, so I've got lots of storage going on. And I wanted to be able to see. And then when I wasn't working in needing this space, I could close the door and I didn't have to look at everything. So this, for me, has been just fabulous. And I do live in an older house, and so none of the doors stay closed the way they do, so I've got lots of little fun door stops. As I said, because I'm a garment maker as well, I've got lots of supplies, so you know, zippers, snaps, elastic. These things I do label, and I stole this idea from Annie Smith. I thought this was great. Instead of having it on the outside, I have them right on the top of the drawer, which makes it really easy for me to just pull it out slightly, see what's in here. Oh, it's ribbons and trims. And then as we go further down, I've got, you know, knitting and supplies and crochet tools, that kind of thing. I do love plants, and so that is one thing I do try to bring in. And most of these live outside in the summer, but as we're getting into our fall and winter, they come into the house. Now on this side is my my sewing area, and I love this table. It replaced a plastic table about 15 years ago. I found it in an estate sale. It is heavy, heavy, solid wood. It does not rattle when I'm sewing, and a local carpenter retrofitted it so I could get my sewing machine in, so I could have a really nice big flush area. It's all marred up. Usually it's got paint on it, but every once in a while I'll just go and paint some more paint to cover it up. I also tend to work on this side where I'll do some kind of other work on one end and do the sewing here. One of the things I love about working in this area is this lamp that I bought a few years ago at a show. It gives me a huge amount of light over my work area, especially if I'm working on a cloudy day or it's really late at night. And you can move this around, you know, to wherever you need it. So I get really good light in addition to the little bendable light that I have on the machine, because I don't care what you say, you never can have too much light. And then on either side of where I'm working, because I usually have the chair here, I've got, you know, my supplies that I need, tools, what have you. And then on this side, I've got thread in different cubbies, different colors, so they're really easy to get to. Other kinds of tools that I need to get, but not necessarily all the time, are my rulers, which I have them divided sort of by size and shape. And typically the things I need the most are closer to the ground or down further, and things I don't use quite as much, I have them higher up. I really, really like a pegboard, but they aren't necessarily the most attractive things, so I've always had them painted. But then when we redid this one, we put a frame around it, and then and my partner David found this lovely trim, and we added that, which I think really just sort of elevates a traditional pegboard into something that's much nicer. I did also buy curtains recently, but you know, it's COVID, so guess what? The curtains that I wanted were not in the size available, so these are still way, way too long, and so I need to hem them, but we'll get to that when I have time. But you know, you just have to kind of be flexible with things when COVID's going on. Another big change that I did in this room that I absolutely love are the lights above. I had literally just one light from a fan, a ceiling fan. So this is my studio. It's not very fancy. I do really enjoy it. I love being in a calm place, but have a little bit of art every once in a while around for when I'm just, you know, enjoying some of the pieces that I bought from other people. So I hope that you've enjoyed it, and we'll see you later. Thanks so much for stopping by.